Hey everybody, I'm Sal. This is Ethan and Ben. We're talking about Spider-Man Reign on back issues, but you don't have time for that. You can check out this conversation we have from the episode. In the collected volume, I have it in singles, but I hate singles when we do the show, so I like to do the whole thing, so I got this trade. It's labeled as a Marvel Knights imprint, which, if you're not thinking, you might think is like, oh, that must be Marvel's Elseworlds. No. Marvel Knights was just, it was almost like a predecessor to Marvel Max, where they were like, it's going to be a little darker.
But it was still in continuity.
Still in continuity, sometimes.
Oh.
But, Marvel...
Well, how are you supposed to know?
Well, it's funny, because I think the idea was, no, it might be not in continuity, but then all the stories stuck.
We'll find out afterwards.
Like Daredevil, what we did with Kevin Smith, Guardian Devil, that story is a Marvel Knights book. But Karen Page's still dead.
Right. And further writers were just like, okay.
Yeah, that happened. Moving on,
right. So it's like no one was at the helm.
Yeah, it's like nobody cared or noticed.
Right.
But for some reason, it's under this label. I don't know why, because Marvel Knights is just like, these are just darker stories. I guess because it's darker.
Like, just in tone?
Yeah, like in tone. Actually, and it's funny, they carried that over in the movies.
Does this still have the comics code?
No, they got rid of that in the 2000s.
Wait, when was this?
2007.
2007.
Oh, okay.
It's like the early 2000s.
Yeah. Like 2000. They were like,
It's a new millennium, don't need the comics code.
Nope.
Well, then why even bother putting it as Marvel Knight?
I don't know.
Well, because they didn't have another thing to call it.
They had no other thing to call it. Because Marvel does not have an Elseworlds imprint. And they don't normally do Elseworld stories. Or if they do...
thing for them.
Yeah. Or if they do, they're like, here.
They just toss them out.
They don't care. They're here. And you're like, whoa, is this in continuity? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, they prefer to let, the court of public opinion decide if something's in continuity.
Yep, they did the same thing. Yeah, carrying over with Spider-Man in the 90s for no reason. Like, John Byrne was like, I'm gonna tweak Spider-Man's origin, update it a little bit. And he called it Spider-Man Chapter 1. And it was like Dino DNA, where he filled in these holes with extra continuity.
Right.
But they had already done that in a book called Untold Tales of Spider-Man, where they literally, Kurt Busiek's I fucking read those books when they came out, so I know the gaps, and I filled them in with stuff they referred to in the book. John Byrne's like, no. Dr. Octopus gets his arms fused to his body from an explosion in the lab. Well, they would never have an open radioactive experiment for a spider to dangle into and then bite Peter Parker. But if it was an explosion or something that irradiated the spider, then that makes sense. So how about, instead of Spider-Man getting bitten by the spider, in just a regular experiment, Peter Parker's at the lab and there's an explosion, and then Peter Parker, torn up and bruised, is like, oh god, and then a spider bites him and he's like, oh, why?
Because fuck you.
But that didn't happen.
No, but now it did.
No,
and
here's my question.
In the wreckage, they show, Doc Ock, and he's like, and his arms are fused to his body. It's like, all this stuff happened, you see, now.
All
at the same time. No, but you see, now it makes sense. It didn't make sense before.
It made sense before.
But it was too convenient. Now now it all works together.
It's more plausible.
Similarly, you might have noticed that in comics, Norman Osborn's hair, he has, these weird cornrows.
Yeah.
Well, Sandman has similar cornrows. So, let's make Sandman related to Norman Osborn.
No!
Because they have similar hair, you see.
Okay, a lot of people have similar hair. That doesn't mean they're related.
It's weird because no one in the Marvel Universe has hair like Norman Osborn, except for Sandman. So now that's a thing. And, he just made these weird decisions.
Well, Scorpion and Green Goblin are both green, so are they, the same?
Yeah, maybe Scorpion worked for Green Goblin. They did a similar thing where they were like, so Chameleon was the first Spider-Man villain, and he was working for the Soviets. Well, that's outdated now.
Right.
But we do have a terrorist state in Europe that works called Latveria, and Spider-Man fights Dr. Doom 2 issues later in the 60s, so let's have Chameleon work for Dr. Doom instead, and the whole thing's connected now. Just such weird shit. And he's like, here you go! And everyone collectively said, no! Everyone wrote it.
No! That's not how it happened.
But that's not it. And other writers are like, I'm not listening to that. They just, I'm sure the editor at the time was just like, no, but, just trying to keep the reins on. We're
pulling levers.
Because he's trying to survive from the Clone Saga. It just ended. I just killed the clone. And now you wanted to clean up the continuity and everyone's mad at us again. Damn it! But that has nothing to do with Spider-Man Reign. So that was from the episode of Back Issues on Spider-Man Reign. You can check it out over the card on Ben's head there. And we'll see you guys over there. I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Check it out.